Hello everyone, welcome back to one more Clues by Sam. If you don't know what Clues by Sam is, it's a daily logic puzzle game where you have 20 people on a board who may be criminals or innocents, and you gotta figure out who is a criminal and who is innocent using the clues that they give you, and you gotta do no guessing. The puzzle changes in difficulty, and today we have a medium one. If you want to try the puzzle before you watch the video, you can check the link in the description, but if you just want to follow along or if you're stuck somewhere, we can start right away and I'm gonna try to explain what's happening. Let's go. We start with Sue telling us that exactly 2 innocents above Nick are neighboring Eve. Well, there's 3 people above Nick, and Eve is one of the people who is above Nick. And there's 2 people besides Eve above Nick, so if there are 2 innocents neighboring her, then both of them have to be innocent. But we don't know about Eve yet because the clue doesn't tell us that there is 2 innocents only above Nick, just that 2 innocents above Nick neighbor Eve. So I guess we don't need that clue anymore, but we don't know about Eve yet. So let's go for Anna. Ruby is one of 2 innocents to the right of Nick. So Ruby is an innocent, but there's already another innocent to the right of Nick, who is Sue. And this clue tells us that there's 2 innocents total to the right of Nick, so we know that Peter is a criminal for sure. Now Joyce doesn't tell us anything, but Ruby tells us that someone stole Joyce's spatula, and Peter tells us that there's only one innocent in between Gary and Xavier. Gary and Xavier. There's 2 people between them. So if only one is an innocent and we know that Ruby, who is between them, is an innocent, Laura has to be a criminal. And now Laura tells us there are as many criminal cooks as there are criminals loose. We have one criminal cook, one innocent cook, Joyce. We have Nick, who is a cook. And we have Peter, who is a sleuth. And that means that we have to have at least one criminal cook, because Peter is a criminal. So, do we know any other cooks? No, we don't. So Nick has to be a criminal because of Peter. And there's also 2 sleuths total. Right? Peter and Ben? Any other sleuths? No. So we know that Ben has to be an innocent because if Ben were to be a criminal, we would need another criminal cook, which we can't have. So Ben is an innocent. And now Ben tells us that exactly one guard has an innocent directly to the left of them. So where are the guards? Terry and Xavier. Only one of them has an innocent to their left. Left. I was thinking about right. So the only guard who has an innocent, who has someone to their left, is Xavier. No other guards on the board, right? So, oh, we have Anna, but she also doesn't have anyone to their left. So Terry doesn't have anyone to their left. Xavier has to have an innocent to their left, which means that Vance is an innocent. Now, Vance tells us that exactly 2 of the 6 innocents neighboring Laura are in column C. Laura has 6 innocent neighbors. She has 8 total. 2 of them we already found out, Ruby and Sue. And we know that 2 of them are in column C. One of them is Ruby. The other one has to be Gary because it's the only other neighbor that Laura has in column C. So Gary is an innocent. And now Gary tells us that all innocents in column D are connected. Well, we know that Laura is only gonna have one more criminal neighbor. It could be in column D. That person could be in column D, but if they were, they would have to be Isaac. Because if Isaac were to be an innocent and marry a criminal, then the innocents in column D would be separated. So Mary has to be an innocent, but we don't know about Isaac yet. Because someone here could very well be a criminal. Now Mary tells us that there are exactly 4 innocents in column D. So what does that tell us. We need 2 more innocents in column D. They could be Isaac and Deborah, or Isaac and Zoe. But they couldn't be Deborah and Zoe, because, like Gary says, all innocents in column D are connected. So Isaac cannot be a criminal, in fact. And now we know that either Floyd or Coomer are gonna be a criminal and the other one an innocent. So what does Isaac tell? Oh, let's leave a one or the other here as well. What does Isaac tells us? What does Isaac tell us? Both innocents in row 5 are connected. So we know there's only 2 innocents in row 5. And the second one has to be connected to Vance. So we know that Zoe can't be an innocent, because if she were, then Xavier would be a criminal and Xavier would be separating the 2 innocents. So Zoe is an innocent. Zoe is a criminal, sorry. And Deborah is our 4th innocent in column B. So we don't need Mary's clue anymore. We know that either Xavier or Terry are an innocent. And we don't need Isaac's clue anymore. I guess we needed to tell us there's 2 innocents in row 5. What else? 2 innocents. Oh, this tells us that there are 6 innocents neighboring Laura. Okay. Oh, so Deborah now tells us that Laura has the most innocent neighbors. Laura has 6 innocent neighbors total, so no one else can have that. Floyd couldn't have that. And Floyd so far has 4. Who else? Coomer wouldn't have 6 anyway, because he has 3 criminal neighbors. Ruby has 3 as well, so that doesn't matter for them. Gary so far has 1 with Ben, 2 with Deborah, 3 with Isaac, and 4 with Mary. And Gary's gonna have 1 more, the 5th one here, either Floyd or Coomer. So Carol couldn't be an innocent, otherwise Gary would also have 6 innocent neighbors, which is the same as Laura, and that can't be. So Carol is a criminal. And now Carol tells us there's an odd number of criminals on the edges. How many criminals do we have on the edges already? 1, 2, 3. Carol, Zoe, and Nick. The 4th one's gonna be Terry or Xavier, but that's an even number. So the last person on the edge, who is Eve, has to be a criminal as well. Just double checking, because when I don't pay attention, we know what happens. Now Eve tells us there are more innocents in row 2 than row 5. Row 5 has 2 innocents, like we know from Isaac's clue, so row 2 has to have more than 2, and row 2 has 2 so far, so Floyd has to be an innocent, and because of Floyd, Coomer has to be a criminal. Now, Coomer tells us that Nick has more criminal neighbors than Isaac. Where's Nick? Here. Isaac has 2 criminal neighbors, and Nick has 2 so far as well. But there's also Terry neighboring Nick, and he's the last neighbor, so Terry has to be a criminal, so that Nick has more criminal neighbors than Isaac. And because of Terry, Xavier is an innocent. And we are done. No mistakes there. Less than 8 minutes, a median one, all green. I'm very happy for that. So that was it for today. I hope you enjoyed this. I hope I helped you somewhere, and I will be here again tomorrow with more Clues by Sam. So subscribe if you want to see that. Hope you have a nice day, and I'll see you tomorrow.